Today is the day, you guys. I get to prune my honeysuckle, one plant that it's in the ground right behind all of that mess there that I have with flowers. It's a beautiful mess, but I definitely need to prune it. Last year I did not prune it and this thing just took off. It really loves it here. But this year, if you guys are new here, this year my honeysuckle really got invaded by aphids, and those things pretty much stopped the blooms from opening, and it was just a big mess. So I decided to just take it down all the way. I'm actually taking about 2/3 of the plant, and I know it's going to be fine. This honeysuckle has proven to be an amazing, hardy, strong plant in my garden. And if you're wondering about the variety of honeysuckle, I have absolutely no clue. It was a clearance plant that I found about 3 years ago or so. I paid $5 for this honeysuckle and it didn't really have a name. It was in one of those black containers. It just said honeysuckle. And I put it here, and my goodness, it pretty much dominated this area. I love the green foliage when it's taken over this diamond trellis. But this year, definitely, I need to control it a little bit because, as you can see, the vines are just kind of hanging in front of the diamond trellis. So I need to tackle that today, and I have really been waiting for about 3 or 4 weeks to do this now. My main concern is that there is a bird's nest right against the wall on the trellis. And those birds and I have a history, and they are not really fan of me. So I kind of waited until those birds were out of there. And I have been checking, and it seems that there are no birds living in that nest right now. So wish me luck as I try to do this in the easiest, safest way. My biggest challenge for pruning this honeysuckle where it is that I have a lot of perennials and shrubs right in front of it. So using a ladder is kind of a challenge for me because I really don't want to hurt anything, but I know that a few things are going to be probably broken, and you know, it is what it is. Really, this honeysuckle needed to be pruned probably about a month ago, but like I mentioned, I was just waiting for those birds to evacuate the area. From my research, honeysuckles bloom on old wood, so I know that the flowers for next year are already being formed. So hopefully I can get to it really quick so that next year my chances of having flowers are high. And I will definitely be checking for those aphids next year early in the year, making sure that I just use my hose to spray those things. This year when I realized that my honeysuckle was covered in aphids, it was just too late. Everything, and I mean every single bloom, every single bud was covered, and I probably got a few blooms here and there, but nothing like it has been in years before. So that was unfortunate, but let's try again. There is always next year, and even if I don't get any blooms next year, at least I got to do this pruning this year, and hopefully I get a healthier plant. All right, let me give you an update, a really quick update about my hydrangeas. This is my hydrangea hedge. These are all limelight hydrangeas, and I came here last week and I cleaned pretty much all the bottom of them. What that means is I came with my pruners and I pruned whatever growth was happening at the bottom of the shrubs. I do this mainly because I like to keep the airflow happening, but also because all of these heucheras also need a little bit of sunshine during the morning. Most of the day they are in the shade because all of the foliage from the hydrangeas give them shade. So that helps them in, you know, staying healthier because heucheras like mostly shade, but they are doing well here. I have found that the darker varieties of heucheras or coral bells do handle the sun better. So they get a little bit of morning sun, and after that they're just in fully shade. But let me show you something really quick over here on the other side, which is where I have my planter. I actually have two planters. I have two of these Corten steel planters, and these are the ones that I planted first in my garden. I planted these in the fall, and as you can see, the coloring on the Corten steel beds are already getting the rusty color. I love that. The rusty color here is absolutely beautiful in my opinion. And I have two of them here, and I have them full of petunias. I have some celosia. I have these purple millet grasses. I think that I have four seedlings here, and I put a couple of seeds on each container when I started them indoors. You guys, these are one of my favorite things that I started from seed, and I only started a few of them, but this coming year 2024, God willing, I'm going to start a bunch more because these guys are just gorgeous. And we got a lot of rain yesterday, and that's why a lot of the things look like they're flapping. But these petunias are also some of the things that I started new for the first time this year from seed, and they're just absolutely amazing. I have a bunch of cannas on the back of the planters, but as you can see, they're kind of being eaten by everything else, which I do not mind. I also have some coleus. If you get a little bit closer here, these coleus are also ones that I started from seed, and I love this kind of foliage on my coleus. They are getting a little bit bombarded by everything else that is going on here, but like I said, I do not mind because my gosh, look at all the blooms of the petunias. These are wave petunias. Some of you were asking about if I have to deadhead them all the time. These are the ones that clean themselves pretty much. So I haven't touched them other than giving them water, and I have fertilized them only once. Jack's fertilizer, I show you that on another video. That's what I'm using to fertilize these guys, all of my annuals. And my gosh, I mean, if you can see all of this happening here, is just making me very happy because I just love everything here. So these planters that I have here, these Corten steel planters here, are on the west side of the house. So they get sun pretty much for the rest of the day after the afternoon. I am going to show you the ones that are on the east side of the house. Those only get morning sun. And let me show you how amazing those are doing. Okay, I am standing on the east side of the house now. Behind me, I have the stepping stone path that I built years ago. And I have my 2 backsuits over here. But I want to show you the planters, the Corten steel planters that I have right over here. These guys get a lot of shade because one, they are on the east side of the house, so they only get morning sun, but also they get a lot of shade because they are underneath my red bud. And even though this red bud is a little bit young, it still gets plenty of shade to whatever is underneath it. Let me show you what I have growing over here. I have a bunch of geraniums that I started from seed. These turned out to be very, very red geraniums. That's okay. I also have a few vines. These are the Black Eyed Susan vines that I started from seed. These are not blooming yet, but that's okay. At least they're not dying. I also have a bunch of cosmos on the back, as you can tell here. And I have a couple of foxgloves over there as well. I have a lot going on here. And yes, these plants are doing great in my opinion, but also I am trying to see what works in this area because this area gets a lot of shade. And so far, I think that these plants are doing amazing. I do have a few stakes right over here that I have one in the middle and I have 2 on each side. And I am just running a little bit of a string, just regular string, to kind of keep the cosmos and the foxgloves standing up because they were kind of flopping everywhere. Especially after it rains, everything just kind of gets heavy and things start flopping everywhere. But I just love, if you look at the color texture of the planters, I'm trying not to break things. Look at the color of the planters. That, in my opinion, is just amazing. I just love the coloration that they're getting. And these are the ones on the east side, so they are not doing too bad. I absolutely love this red bud. This is Forest Pansy red bud, and I mean the color of the leaves and everything, how it gets dark. I just love this, you guys. I just absolutely love it. So pretty much this is the video that I wanted to show you today. I show you how I pruned that honeysuckle that took me a while. That was a couple of days ago. And I just wanted to show you my planters, my Corten steel planters, because they are just amazing. Thank you for being here, and until next time.